Hey boo, welcome and welcome back here on my channel. You can find now more than 300 videos to support your expansion into conscious manifesting. And if you would like one-on-one sessions with me to really get to the root of what has been holding you back so you can fully transform, you can find the link to my website in the channel description. It's oneminutemanifesting.com/services. Today's video continues the series on how to stop locking yourself out of your desire. I'll put a link to the first video in the description box. When you are feeling apart, the separate self, it is packed with anxiety, the feeling of being alienated, isolated, misunderstood, and even rejected. And yeah, this can be an occasional situation. We've all been there at various times. But when it becomes a chronic, that is to say, an ongoing issue for you, a place where you feel that has become more of a dwelling place as a predominant state. This is what Neville called, when he said, when you were in that, whatever was your predominant state became your dwelling place, and you're ready to move out and to change it up in a way that will truly give you the life that you deserve to have. And when you see that it's been habitual, now you can understand that you possess the power of choice to change it. You get to choose. And stick with me here so you will see exactly how this works. To choose to see that you are a part of the divine force, that frequency, dimension that sees itself as you and that operates and lives and breathes through you, that you are a facet of the diamond that is God. The seeing itself is the freeing. The divine in you, the inner authority, sees itself and has the power to free you from what is holding you back, from what you perceive as being out there that has impacted your ability to manifest what you want. You have actually, we lock ourselves out, and you have actually locked yourself out by having the anxiety that what you want has not seemed to appear. And drop "that's me" in the comments if you are feeling this and if you have been experiencing this. Stick with me on this because you're going to see how it can change. You practice manifesting, and anything else that arises for you that you see when you're scrolling, whatever platform you're on, that says, try this, this is another hack, this is another method, this is another concept around changing your situation. And that's, it's anything that says you already have it, you already are it. Those can seem like the best, the bright, shiny object beckoning you to give it a try. And that is something that can happen very easily because we're looking here and we're looking there and we're looking to pull it together from all different places. And yes, on YouTube here, there are some wonderful, truly wonderful fellow coaches in the coaching space who do offer really beautiful guidance. There's no question. It's just when it becomes constantly grabbing at every, all the golden hoops that sort of present themselves, that we actually end up feeling even more splintered, more fragmented, more isolated, because pieces, little pieces come to you, but they may not come together in a way that's easy to understand. But when you see that in assuming you are the person, this is a very basic teaching of Neville Goddard that already has what they are imagining, that it's a done deal. What happens is if we're running around looking at all these things and they're not working, and the reason it's not working is that the old you has not totally let go. It's one thing to feel that you are claiming or decreeing or commanding your desire, and this is frequently taught, and it's absolutely true that you can claim your desire, that you're telling God what you want. And God's only mission here is to bring you whatever you want or what you say you want. But even if you're saying it, a lot of the time, if you are not fully 100,000% of confidently being what you say you want to be, the one who has what you say you want to have. It might be the car, the person, the house, the better job, the travel, whatever it is that you want. If that part of your old self is still trying to claim you as the one you are wanting not to be or not to be, as Shakespeare said, that is the question. That literally is the question here, because you're either allowing yourself entry to that person. The kingdom of heaven is within. This is receiving and using the key to the kingdom of heaven. But if that part of your old self is still trying to literally possess you, and this is where we get the concepts about being possessed. It's your old self that kept itself in lack, in want, in a poverty mindset of not having, or any of the feelings of alienation I was just mentioning, that it is going to absolutely conflict with what you really want or what you're saying you want. So it's kind of that feeling of you might feel one part of yourself wants it, but there's that tiny percentage of yourself that is still trying to feel more secure by keeping you separate from it, by keeping you separate from the God self in you. And this was actually came up in a discussion I was having with a client the other day. And she has made, in the course of our time working together, and she has given me permission to discuss this, that it could inspire others. And she had made many changes, even to the point of dropping the Americanized version of her name that went along, that was given to her, but when she took a particular job, kind of as a nickname, but that she felt no longer applied to who she was. And in leaving this job of many years, making a major relocation across the country, and in changing what it is that she wants to become an entrepreneur as opposed to someone in middle management, she really wanted to move on. And in embracing that, she returned to the original version of her name, which gave her that sense of fullness and wholeness. And yet, from time to time, she's attempting to decompress, but at time to time, that version of her surfaces, the one with the other name. That version of her still tries to pull her back. And she's very, very aware of it. And becoming aware of it is a major first step, because then you realize that you can always choose and choose again. And as A Course in Miracles says, if you chose wrongly the first time, choose again. This is, you always can forgive yourself and choose again. And she is enjoying overall this major transformation that she has taken. But yet, from time to time, when she needs to feel that relief, something surfaces from that old part of her still kind of fighting against her, totally decompressing. Maybe you felt that in your own experience. It's going to keep throwing things back to you that you thought you jettisoned, that you thought you tossed over the rail, that you thought you dropped. So that total feeling of fully being the self you now are embodying just kind of doesn't fully land. And that will happen. It will happen. It's still coming up to confront you in a way and say, I dare you. I'm kind of it throws down the gauntlet, as they used to say, at you. Cross this line. I dare you. You have to dare yourself to take that bigger step. And stick with me, because that can seem, scary, daunting. It can seem like, no, I do anything then to do that. But you kind of settle, you breathe, you go back into yourself, you make that U-turn, and you allow that to the fullness of who you are now to come into your mind. How that part, that new you, is now feeling, that updated, transformed you. And that's what it's really about. It's to stop that feeling of, hey, it's lockout time. I'm going to be locked out of my desire again. But I have to say, no, I'm not allowing this to happen now. And when this feeling of conflict arises between the old version of you and who you have become, rather than, in a sense, fight off and try to push away the old self, stop and actually thank it. You can thank it. You can show gratitude to that old self. And my client has also done that. She's recognized it, where it shows up, where it surfaces, and when. And so when you feel its presence, it's kind of hot breath on your neck, is to stop and thank that version of you, that old version, for its concern that's no longer needed. And thank it for how, because of it having brought you to the bigger desire to change, to make that leap of faith and transform. So you can actually look at that old you and turn and thank it. And that it had actually moved you, pushed you, nudged you to that point of change, and you did it. You made that shift. You detached from that old state, came into your I am, and recognized that that is you. That is what you wanted. That is what brings your fulfillment. That is what brings the relief. And you can say, thank you for wanting to keep me safe, but I'm good now. I got this. Thank you, but we're good. You can move on. It's okay. I'm here and I'm clear. I'm here and I'm clear now. And as I've mentioned in a previous video, the two words, I'm clear, and the word miracle have the same letters. What does that mean? Stay with me on this. What does that mean? It means, yes, I am clear. And that clarity is allowing God to fully express as you through your inner authority, through the inner voice, through the silence that is you, through the vastness that is you. And that is in the oneness with God. My Father and I are one, and my Father is greater, and that can manifest your desire in the most miraculous, unexpected ways, so that miracles actually become a regular part of your experience, of your reality. Miracles are actually a natural feature of your reality. And no matter what the old you says, that there is now no room for doubt or anxiety. In the moment of claiming what you want, of being it, now you've turned within. So there's no needing or wanting or lacking. You make the shift is automatic. Just by deciding, just by choosing it, but not deciding like it's an effort. There's no trace of effort, it just is. And it's that simple way of being and allowing. And a lot of times we're not used to that because we may have been in situations where we're struggling to hang on to whatever we had, and we fear losing something, or we're doubting that we can access something. But it all is coming from in yourself, from deep within you. It's not to be found externally. And it's meant to turn you inside. That what you're looking for, as the sages say, is seeking you. It's waiting for you to recognize that it's already within you. And that is what brings it into being in front of you. That makes it go live in your life. This is what makes it go live in your life. And sit with that idea. Because so much of the time we're so concerned about it being a challenge, a difficulty, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, because getting clear is not a mental formulation or process or a physical process. It's a metaphysical process. It's beyond the physical. It is in consciousness. It's not linear. It's from all over consciousness, from the universe. It's not an A to B to C. It comes from all over. And it will keep bringing you into scenarios that move you toward it, toward having what you want. But if you're overthinking and that starts to come up, that also will lock you out of your desire. That brings the anxiety, that brings the what ifs and the worst case scenarios, and that starts to bring it. And it will come from that anxiety, that sense of separation. And it is a huge... Overthinking comes from fear and anxiety, and it's a huge, huge time and energy suck. And it just drains your energy. It is a vampire, and only brings on more anxiety, not less. And it's not about seeking outside approval for what you want. It's not about, and especially not about, having what you want will make you feel more liked, or wondering if having it will make you feel more liked, and being afraid that it won't, that people may, your friends, your family may not like you or love you the way they did. They might be envious, or they might leave you if you make a big move of some kind. And this is all too common. I've had those fears in the past. And then you realize how unnecessary they were, that whoever is meant to fall away must fall away. They would in any case in some way. Because that is consciousness. That is the movement of consciousness. And when you are confident, it blesses you again and again with a feeling of lightness, with energy, with the speed to accomplish goals, to achieve more. It is the ultimate motivation, the ultimate leveling up, the ultimate potential. That's why Neville also said that every state that you could choose has in it the plan and the power of your potential. It's all already in there. And confidence is a state in itself. Stay with me so you'll see how this is. When you are embodying the state of consciousness and it propels you forward and upward, higher and further, without being dragged down by what seems to be out there or is missing from out there. And that's true faith. And that's why Neville said your faith in God is measured by your confidence in yourself. And if that feels show-offy or boasty, no, don't even have that concern. Because you can be extremely confident, and maybe you've known people like this, and still have a ton of humility. Because someone who is naturally confident, who embodies confidence, is trusting their highest inner authority. Now think of yourself as being able to do that. To not be afraid of what it appears to others who are only a reflection of you anyway, but to trust that your inner authority is going to say roll them and the action is going to start happening and keep things moving. It's like being on those people movers at the airports. Nothing to control or manipulate or force or figure out. There's no effort involved. And play with that for a second with me here. It's like you've been hauling a stuffed backpack and lugging it around, and then you can drop it. You finally drop it. And wow, that feeling of relief. Oh my God, I feel so light. I feel so relaxed. I feel so easy. It's instantaneous. And it's letting that lightness and that relief lead you to the place and the timing and the person and the unexpected, bigger than imagined, epic blessing that comes to you when you allow God to bring it to you. When you are confident, you permit and you choose that the answers and the guidance find you. They're going to come to you. It can't help but happen that way. And if you're watching this and you're going, yeah, maybe, right, and that sarcasm's coming out, and that doubt is coming out, and that fear is coming out, and that old you is sitting there, and it comes from being consistently stuck in believing that this stuff is hard. It's understanding it's not. As within, so without is the oldest teaching. And there's nothing that can overlook you except you. You are the only one leaving yourself out of the equation. You are the only one. And that's why you can choose again, choose differently, choose it to be easy. Choose it to come to you. And it's like Bashar has said, a habit is unconscious until you become aware of it, and then it's a choice. And you can totally rewire your nervous system to shift from anxious into ease, joy, relieved, excited. Because what happens? Anxiety and excitement, and a good excitement, use the same pathways in the nervous system, in the body, to come from that place of confidence about what is firing you up to the point that no person, nobody, no situation, no nothing can convince you otherwise. There is nothing that can make it work against you. Nothing can contaminate or toxify your state ever. And people can try to project their fears like those poison darts, and you will be unaffected, unmoved. You are invincible. Their doubts cannot touch you or torch your confidence, because what you want is going live in your life, in your reality. And maybe in the past you let another person's negativity throw that shade, and that also could lock you out of your desire. I've been there many times. What happened to me? No more. No more digging up the seeds of your desire by letting someone else take them out. Now you let it blossom within you and from you, from your faith in the fertile soil, that rich soil of the divine within you, that being, that facet of the diamond that is God. And diamonds come from what? That fertile, it's coal, and it becomes a diamond. That's what brings your desire into your direct experience so it can go live in your life. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, sharing, and subscribing so I can keep bringing you more content like this. Love you so much, Boo. See you next time.